Welcome to Head Kick Audio. I've got a very, very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. I got Smilen Sam Alvey. Now, before we get into any questions, you are inadvertently giving me a birthday gift. You are competing at UFC Fight Night, Hermanson versus Strickland on my birthday. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's that.
happy early birthday, my man. Yes.
Absolutely. And no way to segue that better than having you on the show and talking about your fight. You're going to be fighting Phil Hawes, if I'm pronouncing that right. Forgive me if I'm not. But that's a pretty exciting fight, man. I couldn't think of a better fight to bring you back into the cage, and a fan favorite. I mean, everybody loves themselves some Sam Alvey, right? So of course, we're all excited to see you get back in there. So talk to me a little bit about the opponent and, what you got going on the fifth for me.
Yeah, so Phil's a stud. He really is. He was a D1 wrestler from years ago, but he trains with Henry Hoof now. So his striking is kind of where he's putting all of his efforts. I think he understands that fans way prefer strikers to wrestlers. Yeah, they like the knockout. Submissions are great, but knockouts are awesome. And he's really put on some big knockouts, big performances in his last couple bouts. Maybe not his last bout, but every bout before that. He's coming off one loss, which was to an amazing fighter in Chris Curtis, who used to be my roommate for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And I'm hoping to continue his losing streak and break my losing streak.
Well, we don't like to focus too much on the negatives, but, we're looking to just get back on track here. We're looking to get back to our winning ways. We know that Sam Alvey brings a fun fight, regardless of the opponent. We know he brings big power. A little bit of a slow starter. If I had to knock anything, you have trouble getting going, but once you do get going, look out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And it's been a curse, and I've had a pretty good career, so it's not a terrible curse. But the more fights that people can watch of mine, the more they can figure out. Oh yeah, he starts slow. So it's something I've been working on myself. I got better at it for a minute there, and then this last fight, 7 times he poked me in the eyes, and I just couldn't get a step forwards. Yeah, it was. I couldn't see out of my left eye for a week. I mean, it was terrible. Just a cheater of a fighter. But it is what it is, and I ended up losing somehow. And now it's time to snap that and get back in the winning column.
Now, and what better opponent than Phil Hawes? The guy, again, brings great power, and a good wrestling prowess. Kind of a puzzle, if you will, because you don't know if he's gonna what he's gonna approach the fight with. If he's gonna go back to his wrestling, or if he's gonna come out throwing bombs. What version do you expect?
I'm not sure. He really, I mean, like his head coach is in Henry Hoof, and the dude is a powerhouse. He has got some of the most explosive overhand rights of anyone in the sport right now. So I mean, that is where his fan base lies. But his true skill set is wrestling. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. I'm ready for anything. I know I have about the strongest takedown defense in the UFC. Number 4 all time. Number 4 all time. And if he wants to wrestle me, I'm going to make it hard for him. And he has been known to be one of those guys that gas. That's the other thing about wrestlers, that they've got all the talent in the world and they can put anyone in their butt. But if they don't get the finish, it's a hard time keeping someone down.
For sure, for sure. And we know back from your MFC days that going the distance, even over 5 rounds, ain't no problem.
Yeah, I'm good. My conditioning is maybe never been better at this point.
Well, that's pretty impressive considering your pretty decorated career. You've been competing for a very, very long time, even since before the MFC days. So before I started watching you, obviously you were competing, but a very long career nonetheless. And obviously the UFC definitely sees something in Smilen Sam to keep you around this long, given where we're at currently. But really, one big left to right hand from Smilen Sam could change everything.
Yeah, I'm one big punch away from turning my career back around. I still feel great. No injuries. I don't have any. I mean, I'm not getting, everyone thinks I'm a banger, but if you look at my fights, I don't get hit that much. In my 22 UFC fights, I've only bled three times. I've bled 3 times in 22 fights. And people tend to remember me differently, but it's because I am a power puncher. I'm a little bit slower, but I hit like a truck with some good wrestling defense and offense. So it's I've accrued these talents over a long career, as you said. I think I've been fighting for 15 or 16 years now, and I love what I do.
Okay, and let's talk about that for a minute, because you have been fighting for a while. You said 20 some plus fights in the UFC, so you're fighting the best motherfuckers on planet Earth. Let's just put that to bed right there. You are fighting the best competition that this world has to offer. I mean, what's next after Phil Haas? After we collect this W and probably a knockout to go along with it, what is next for Sam?
Uh, it's a good question. I would love. I've never once taken an easy fight. I would love to be offered some easy fights. if there's anyone in the UFC that has like a broken foot or is coming off some rehab or something, put them against me. Give me a couple easy fights. Let me get a couple easier wins, and then I'll take your killers again.
Well, and see, that's something that I just, unfortunately, I don't see happening, because you have this fighting style. You have this fighting style where really anybody is gonna make it exciting, right? Because you just have that ability. You have a very crowd pleasing style, and the UFC sees that. And I don't think easy fights are anywhere in your future, sir. I'm sorry.
I know. It's a curse. This was supposed to. So Ian Heinisch was my original opponent. Not that Ian's an easy fight, but he was not a D1 wrestler. He was an experienced high school wrestler, and he's got some power and he's got some speed. So he was going to be a difficult fight too. But he had to pull out. So I got his teammate Phil Haas, who's a little bit dangerous everywhere.
Well, and then you're doing some stuff outside of fighting, right? You're doing a couple little I don't know what you would call them. So to fucking fill in my memory here.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I pretty much just fight. I'll be coaching my kids baseball at the end of this fight. So I'll be coaching a T-ball and a little league here come mid-March. I'm doing everything I can on social media too right now. I've started a YouTube channel of my own.
There it is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I've started my YouTube, and I'm still figuring it out. Like there's a lot goes into. I love TikTok. TikTok is my jam. And little 60-second bursts, I'm amazing. But now you're getting me on a 12-minute to 15-minute platform, and I'm putting it together. I'm trying to find my voice in that. But you know what? I've been around for 15, 16 years now fighting. I've got stories from every continent on this planet, so I can tell everyone something. And that's I actually just finished filming my YouTube that I'm going to be posting tomorrow, and it's about my first time fighting Dan Henderson. And it was a good match. He just about killed me. But it was that's kind of the next thing I'm trying to add to my game. As good as I am in the cage and in the practice room and in coaching, I wanna approach the social media side of everything as competently as I can.
Well, and see, competence is something that you don't necessarily need when you have like charisma, creativity, and personality, right? So you don't have to have all that technical stuff. You can just be a genuine human being like you are, and people fucking love you. I'm dead serious.
Got to get them to know to find me. So I love doing all these podcasts with you and everyone else, because hey, maybe somebody else will log in and see what I'm about.
Well, definitely, for sure. And for those of the people that are watching this interview, what's your YouTube channel? Go ahead and let them know where they can watch you.
Yeah, it's Smilen Sam. I spelt my name wrong when I was first starting off 14 years ago. So it's not Ian, it's Smilen Sam. And so because I spelt it wrong, everyone that wants to copy me spells it correctly, which is a huge advantage. On every social media, my name is spelled wrong and correctly.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so check him out over at Smilen Sam on YouTube, and TikTok is the same as well.
TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and Getter and Rumble and all that.
Okay, I don't know what Getter and Rumble is. I guess I got to dust off my social media stuff and figure out what the hell those are. But obviously, everybody knows, the Twitters, TikToks, Instagrams, Facebooks, all that stuff. So make sure if you're not following him on any of those platforms, please do so. Now, I want to talk about some stuff that's not necessarily pertinent to fighting. You were talking about coaching T-ball, which is, it's still sport, right? It's baseball, T-ball, whatever you want to call it. But what type of satisfaction do you get out of coaching, the little ones that are, trying to find their way in the sports atmosphere?
Yeah, well, so I've got a ton of kids. I've got 6 kids, and they're 8 and under. So I'm busy at all moments. And I've always liked that. I've always liked staying busy. Idle hands lead to something, something, something. So I just try not to have idle hands. I'm always doing something with my kids. I even brought my ukulele out here so I could practice with my daughter over FaceTime. So I'm always doing something. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I'm always trying to do something. Baseball came up. I've got a lot of kids and they needed coaches. So I'm coaching both my older 2 and my middle kid. And then my younger kids aren't old enough to play yet, but I'm sure I'll coach them too.
All right. And is there anything that you could take from, maybe your fighting career that you can transfer into coaching young kids, like I said, trying to find their way through baseball?
Yeah. If they're not listening, I know how to hit them. And it's,
That sounds really bad, but continue.
my entire adult life, I've been a coach, and I've coached kids in MMA and jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and boxing, and it's what I've always done. So I've always been very good with kids. They like the smile, I guess. It's very, very welcoming, and that's kind of I bring my approach to MMA to T-ball too now.
Okay. Yeah, don't hit your kids. That's not what he was saying, but of course. I mean that's pretty unique, coming from a bit of a baseball background, when I was a younger kid as well. The coach definitely made a difference, you know what I mean? And having the ability to connect with these kids on that kind of level it's pretty cool, and it's got to give you a lot of what are the words that I can't think of right now? It's got to hit you in this button right here, right?
I have so much fun watching my kids get better at whatever they're doing. And to be able to be part of their life like I am, I know most parents, they have was it an 8 to 5 job? It's hard for them to get home and do everything. My career is different. My career is I have to work out all the time. Uh, but when I'm not in fight camp, I can move my workouts around however I want to. And so I've just chosen that when I'm not in camp, I will do whatever I can to help my kids be better at everything than I ever was.
Well, that's pretty cool. It makes you an awesome dad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll see if we win that pennant.
I'm sure you will. Now, with the kids and the job that you have, which is fighting again the baddest dudes on planet Earth, right? How do you balance the two? Like when you're in fight camp, are you completely disconnected from the family like some fighters are, or are they still very much a part of your daily life? And when do you kind of hit the pause button on going hard leading up to a fight?
Yeah, with the exception of this camp, I came back. I moved to Tennessee about 6 months ago, and so, but I'm keeping my camp in California. They just don't make camps quite the same everywhere else. So this camp, I'm by myself. I came out to California. I left my wife with 5 kids, and I feel real bad for her. But I'm out here training all day, every day, and that has helped. But most of my career, and I hope the rest of my career, I hate not being by my family. So I'm going to figure that out. I wasn't as comfortable not being with them this time. And they've just always been part of the camp. They've always been with me at the gym. We actually bought a little baby octagon crib cage for when the kids were at practice, too young to go anywhere else. And it's always been my job I take the kids with me. They've always been with me to practice.
Yeah, so that's got to be a little bit tough, but sometimes they can be a little bit of a distraction, and sometimes these are the little small sacrifices, which to us dads, it's a big sacrifice. But these are just some of the things that we have to do in this sport. It's a very selfish sport, and to be the best, you kind of got to do those sucky things, right?
Yeah, it's kind of what it is. And it's been my career. And when I'm done with this fight, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do nothing except be with my family for a while. I'll train and they'll come with me to training, and I'll try and put together what my next camp is gonna be like before my next camp happens.
That's pretty cool, and it sounds like setting roots down in Tennessee, you can kind of like pick and choose how you want your camps to go. Like you can build it centered around yourself.
Yeah, I could. I'm figuring it out. I had a real good gym out there. I was working with Nashville MMA, but I think they're kicking me out. I'm not sure. I gotta get home and talk to them. They, yeah, so I'm not sure, but they were an incredible camp. I really enjoyed working with them for this whole last fight camp, first half of the fight camp. So we'll go out there, get the win, and then see what they have to say.
Okay, and then we got to move on here because I have a question that every guest has to answer. Because I'm a fat ass. You can't tell, but I'm 300 pounds on the inside at least, right? I hit my goal weight of 165 after 2 years, so pretty proud of that. But inside, it's super heavyweight, right? Um, After you get your hand raised, okay, after we put Phil Hawes away, I want to talk about how are we celebrating with that victory meal. Go ahead, lay it on me.
Cereal. I mean, all of the cereal. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Captain Crunch, Golden Grams. Shoot, even a Raisin Nut. Apparently, Raisin Nut Bran is like the worst cereal for your health. Like it's apparently has more sugar than anything. And I'm eating that. I'm eating cereals I don't like. I'm eating cereals I love. I'm just eating cereal for days.
Yes. Now that is a victory meal that I can get behind because I love cereal. I don't even know. I don't think I can pinpoint what my favorite is. Do you have a favorite?
It's probably Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch. Now, is
Does
that with the berries or without the berries?
I like the berries, Crunch berries all day.
Okay.
Does tear up my mouth, but it's worth it.
It does. Isn't that weird? Those little fucking square things, they just tear up the roof of your mouth. It sucks. But totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Oh yeah. You get that sugar high and there's no coming down.
100%. Now, let's talk about aspirations within, the second half of your fight career, because I don't think you're anywhere from being finished here. But what are some aspirations that you have with continuing fighting? And when you are done, when you do finally call it a career, do you think that you'll still stay within the realm of combat sports, like what the Eagle and Showtime and Kamaru, they're all building their own promotions all over the world, really. What type of aspirations does Smiling Sam have?
Well, I've still got my eyes set on the title. I know I'm a long ways and many wins away from it, but I do know I could beat the best in the world. I know I've competed with them in the practice room. I know I can go out there. I just have to prove it on fight day, and I could do that. And that is still a dream of mine. 30 years down the road, when I'm finally done fighting, I definitely will never leave the MMA realm. I'm good at it. I've been a coach my entire career. But I think President Sam has a real good ring to it. So we'll see if we get my head into the political realm a little bit too.
Okay. A president with a killer smile, yeah.
Yes, President Smilen Sam. I could charm my way into the White House.
And speaking of, now this kind of I wasn't going to ask, but I had a couple buddies of mine, and one of them told me to ask you to stop smiling, and I told him no. So that one goes right out the window. But one asks for your whereabouts January 6th, because he's got a photo. It's pretty grainy, but it kind of looks like Smiling Sam's in there.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that? I got tagged a few times in that photo. Said, "Oh my God, it's Smilen Sam. It looked like me." So I posted it on my Instagram. Instagram took it down. They took my post down. I was like, "What is this?" So I took a photo of them taking my post. It wasn't me. I wasn't saying anything of the, it's me. And actually somebody edited that photo so my face was actually just over it, like blatantly not part of the photo. Side by side. They took it down. So I took a photo of that and I posted that photo. They took that down. So eventually I had like a photo inside a photo inside of a photo. posted on Instagram. They just kept taking it for no reason. I wasn't saying anything other than, yeah, I kind of look like this guy, or he looks like me.
Yeah, see, there you go. He looks like you. So the whereabouts, you were probably somewhere eating a bowl of Captain Crunch, and definitely not over at the.
I was definitely not inciting a riot.
Yes, no way. I can really picture that.
I wasn't there.
Okay, so 2 questions fulfilled there. And of course, I got to give you, a time to talk about, sponsors and coaches, training partners, anybody that's gotten you to this point in your career and, 30 years down the road, of course. But go ahead, man.
Yeah, well, shoot, my team for the last 11 years has been Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center, also known as Team Quest. It is the baddest gym on the planet. This last first half of my camp, I was out at Nashville MMA, which they were an incredible camp. I was very, very blessed to find such a high quality camp in Tennessee too. And then everything else, follow me on my social media. I shoot out to my sponsors, my friends, my everyone all the time. If you want to see a little backstory into the world of MMA and the UFC and Bellator and all that, follow me there at Smilen Sam on everything. That's SMILEN SAM. And that's my YouTube. I get a little more in depth. TikTok, I love TikTok. Instagram, Twitter, Getter, whole 9 yards. I love it.
Again, we'll figure out this Getter. I got to find out what the hell that is.
It's Twitter, but they don't ban you for saying stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's yeah. It's
that's cool.
Fair Twitter. Twitter's a shit show. I hate Twitter, so follow me there anyways. But I hate it.
100%, 100%. Well, Sam, I really do appreciate the time. Thank you, Jason, for setting this one up. That is the matchmaker for the promotion that I commentate for. So we'll go ahead and give Ruff a shout out as well. But it's been really fun shooting the shit and hearing about, this win that you're going to give me on my birthday. Of course,
For you, buddy.
Yeah, that's right, because I'm a selfish prick, and I'm okay with it. I'm 100% okay with it. But it's been truly fun to follow your career. Like I said, I've been watching since MFC. Maybe you can shoot me where to find the rest of your fights. I'd love to check them out.
Yeah. The easiest way is type in Sam Alvey, then MMA Core. And that has almost all of them.
Okay, cool. That is what I'm going to fucking do. Because I'd like to shore up on my Sam Alvey when these eyes saw him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, thank you for the time. It is a gorgeous smile. And it's been a lot of fun, man. I can't wait to see you get your hand raised on February 5th over at the UFC Fight Night, Hermansson versus Strickland. Good luck, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much, sir.
All right. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, buddy.